Hey folks, welcome back to Maypole Farm, and before we sleep, we need to feed the cows. Before we feed the cows, we need to buy our new tractor, and the store are going to deliver it for us, like they do most things. I tend to think this is fairly representative of the real world. You know, if you're buying a tractor, they're probably going to deliver it. You're probably not going to drive it from the store. Oh no, I like store deliveries. I'm trying to make excuses. So, anyway, we are going to go for the used MB track. That was the word I was looking for. Because it's kind of a cool tractor. It's a little bit... Ooh, I know, we saw that before. It's kind of nice. I haven't used one in a very long time. So, yep. I've had a little bit of a test drive of it. Just to have a little bit of a play with the mod, make sure it's okay. Because I didn't want any funnies or problems once we brought it. Because of the little bit of a play that we've had with it. And I've spoken to the dealer, a little bit of roleplay, and they did say that they did have one on the lot that had the 100 horsepower engine available. So that's going to give us a little bit more flexibility. I thought we should go for the used paint job because we're buying it used. It also knocked $8,000 off the price, which is kind of a bonus. We are going to get the front 3-point fitted because that'll be useful. And obviously we want the front loader attacher. We also need to sort out a number plate. So bear with me one moment, folks. I need to see if I have the thingy to do that. 1 second, folks. Good news, folks. I do. So we're going to do this live. And the name that we get is 50. I don't think we've got one with that on already. So let's see what we can do. Let's see if we can do it first with the normal one. So FI. Can we do a V with any of the numbers? You can do the I, obviously. 5, 5, 5, 5, 0. I don't like that, actually. No, that's more like Fisho. Fisho word. Let's not do that. We're just going to do back only. Let's swap to that one. Let's go back. And it's only 6. I think we get 9 characters. So let's do that. And then let's do... actually, let's do that. And then let's do... 5... dash O dash dash. There we go. Okay. Awesome. So $17,500 for our new MB track. I don't think there's anything else you want. I don't want the Azaria Compact because it's the passive one and it's kind of pointless in my opinion, particularly with where we are at the moment. I think everything else we will leave as is. We do have the option of putting narrows on this, which is kind of cool. It's going to become a very useful little tractor. So let's purchase that. Okay, and then under front loaders, assuming I've remembered to... I did not remember to activate it. BRB. Okay, we are back. Yeah, I did my test drive of it in a separate save because I didn't want to mess this one up. And it just had this automatically because, you know, it would, wouldn't it? Let's just do standard. Sealing plug, yes. No, I don't know. Yeah, why not? We'll leave the main color as is. And let's just purchase it, shall we? It's only $3,000. stop faffing about. I don't have my headphones in. I have no idea what this sounds like. But yeah, the thing that I wanted to check when I test drove it is that this didn't have any funnies with gear changing, and it doesn't. It changes gear beautifully. So yeah. We now have a 100 horsepower tractor with a front loader. I quite like this. You have to manually choose to fold the supports for the front loader. I quite like that. But yeah, we've now got this guy. It is rather sprightly. I quite like it. So let's jump in the Fendt. Because we do need to mix some feed up, because the cows only have 4,000 litres of food. As I said last time, we have our first 3 calves on the way. So expected in August. And yeah, kind of excited. Actually, do they need bedding? No, they don't need bedding down yet, but they do need feeding. So let's get to work on that. We'll have to drop the bucket off of the little Deutz now, which is going nowhere. We are keeping that little guy. I'm not sure what we'll use it for, but we will find something to make use of it. It's a cool little tractor. It's staying. We'll drop the weight off the back as well. Yeah. Let's not drop it in front of the bale spike though. We're gonna need that. A fan of Timberborn. You'll hear me use this word fairly often. At the very worst, it'll be one of my follies. Well, not that often. I use it occasionally. Right. Let's have a think. It's been a little while since we needed to do a feed mix. So, 1. I think bale of silage, bale of hay will be a reasonable start. Now that we've got a decent amount of hay, so let's grab ye olde bale spike. And then the plan is to sleep and hopefully harvest the soybeans. So, yeah. We should unwrap our bale of silage because, as we know, realism is certainly key. That's the bale that's going in then. Yeah. We did a little bit of reading up on the old MB tracks. Annoyingly, I don't have my notes open in front of me, which is a little bit disorganized of me, I know. Right, we have a little bit of an issue here. I think the problem there is between the keyboard and the chair. Someone did actually. I know one of you did suggest this would be an issue, but we can overcome this with physics. Yeah, so what? I think about 40. That's kind of surprised me actually. Only about 41,000 MB tracks were made. Okay, come on, get yourself organised. No, I don't know why, but I got the impression that these were a more mass produced, not really mass produced, but yeah, I don't know. It seemed like quite a low number to me. Is this bale welded to the floor or something? Let's remove the one from on top of it. I know this is quite a light tractor, but other thing that's weird is the feed controls for the front loader have got themselves confused because it doesn't seem to be doing easy front loader controls. Simple inspect that. Gotten where they are. So shift gear, steering sensitivity, arm sensitivity, easy arm controls on. A function of the. This is an issue. This is an issue. Is it a function of the we're gonna solve this in a sec. We're gonna go buy a bigger weight if we need to. Yeah, buy a bigger weight. Is this a function of the front loader? I wonder. Let's just drop that off. I'm just going to go and have a quick peek in the XML. I have no idea. I do not understand how the XML for a front loader works. So we'll just crack on. What we will do is just have a quick look at how much the weight we have weighs, and we will buy something significantly heavier. And that will resolve our issue of not being heavy enough. So that's only a 600 kilo weight. That's probably why we are having so many issues. So let's goals. Why is the store being... I'm being dumb, not the store's being pants. Ignore me. Well, don't, because otherwise the video will be really weird if you just ignore me the whole video. Don't ignore me. I would make it's weird. Please don't ignore me. Please stop making the video weird. That's only 300 kilos. That's not very useful. That's 750 kilos. I think we go for the 1500 kilo Tenwinkle. And I quite like Onyx Black. So let's buy that. See if that resolves our issue. And then, yeah. I mean, it's probably realistic how the words. The hydraulics are working, but it's darn annoying because it's not working how they normally work. Yeah. Let's unwrap this one as well. Maybe we'll do 2 batches. Not stab ourselves on the bale spike. This will work better. There we go. Lovely job. Like it was meant to be. Yeah, so it's quite a light tractor still. You know, I think you point out to me that it was only like 3.7 tons. So you know, not the heaviest in the world, but it's only just big enough. But just big enough is big enough. So you know, let's just have a look at our hay bales over here. It's got 3 and a bit. Let's use that partial bale up. I think. That seems like a good idea to me. She's a springy old suspension. But she is old. She is old. Got to give her a little bit of respect. Right, that's going in there. We need to switch to the bucket. That one. And now we might have been okay with the smaller weight. So, and then if I just quickly remind my... Let's ignore that. So we can have... Oh, annoying that doesn't tell you the numbers and I don't remember them. I'm going to go for 1,000 litres each of wheat, potatoes and mineral feed and see where we are sitting from there. I'm not going to put any straw in because we really don't have that much straw. And if we need to, then we can top things up because we're not that full. So into reverse, you know. Oh, let's get ourselves hung up a little bit here. Okay, yeah, meant to do that. Meant to do that. Now we've got our potatoes tipped on the ground. Good there. Time putting the spuds in. Some premium quality TMR here. And if you've just tuned in to this series for the first time and you're wondering how the heck is he putting wheat, potatoes and stuff in his TMR, I have customized the feeding. I'm just going to do about that much of mineral feed by taking the animal food file from one of Marnox's maps because he's got it in there to allow grazing to work properly. And I have then edited the cow feeding quite significantly so that it's much more like Maize Plus, and that includes having a more complex TMR recipe. And I've also taken advantage of the realistic livestock mod to be able to increase the amount of feed that we have to give them. And that also let me increase the output. So we're running at kind of Maize Plus-ish levels of input and output. And more complex feeding. Now, Maypole Farm is quite a nice map to do this on because it has pretty much all of the files available in the map that you need to edit to do that, apart from the animal food one, because by default the feed mixer isn't set up to take any of these things, so you need to edit all that kind of thing. It's a little bit of work, which is why I haven't done a video explaining it, because once you go to another map that doesn't have all those files available, it all just becomes a bit more complicated, and basically I don't want to have to provide support for all of that for people, because while some of you are capable, many people that try this kind of thing aren't, and it becomes really annoying. So yeah, and if I jump out of the tractor while we're waiting, I can bring up the animal food overview just to show you if you're interested. Yeah, so the cow's feeding now. 75% of it is made up from either grazing, so grass or grass meadow, and you have to have that. You have to have grass in the feeding somewhere, or the grazing script breaks. That's built into the game. Hay or silage, and then TMR does all of the feeding at 75% because it's broken down. 10% from barley, oats or sorghum, 10% from root crops, and 5% from protein crops. Actually, I could check my TMR recipe, couldn't I? So yeah, up to 75% hay and sauce and silage, and then 20% mineral feed, 10% of the others. Awesome. And we are full. Took most of that bale. Cool. Don't knock over the stack of bales. And the nice thing is that the MB track is going to be a pretty nice multi-role tractor. And the other nice thing is we've got 95 grand left now, so we could start to populate the other shed. Currently we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 heifers in there. We should at least get the other 4 we want to have in here. Let's get ourselves in the right spot. Holstein, you're not very good. You're very good, but young. You're very bad, but not right. So let's roll the dice again, shall we? Reset animals dealer. I wish you could do that from a button. Huge Lulu. You're 10 months, but you're pretty good. You're 11 months, but you're not very good. Reset itself. Okay, that's annoying. Back up to 200. Reset animal dealer. There we go. That's a bit bad. 12 months. You're pretty good. We will mark you to be purchased. 11 months. You're pretty good, so we will buy you. 10 months and 3 months are both a bit old, so let's buy both of those. And we want a couple more, so I am going to roll the dice again. There, and I'll do that. Reset back to. Just didn't get very many. Yeah, you're not bad. 13 months, you'll do. 11 months, and you're very good. You'll do 71 months. Ooh. 10 months. No. So let's buy selected. Yes, please. And then we buy a few to start growing on in there. Because if I'm going to wait, because we're short of cash, do I buy younger ones to put in here? How does it work out, relatively speaking, I guess? 11 months is 600. Oh, that's balls. Balls. 10 months. So a month saves me like 300 quid. Let's roll the dice once again. So it's like 500 quid for 2 months. It's 5 grand for the 10 cows that I want. You're very good. Depending on the quality, because you're pretty awful, but you're really cheap. So do I buy some good, slightly younger ones, and grow them on? And it's only 5 grand at the end of the day. For 2 months. For it. 11 months is, I think you're worth getting as well. Yes. 48-month-old bull. Not that old, is it really? They're quite expensive. Let's see if we get something. Or did we not buy? Let's buy you. Let's roll the dice again. I did look at removing some of the other breeds so that we could just focus on Holsteins, and I struggled to get that to work. But you look good enough. You'll do. Buy. Yes. Now you're quite good. Actually, something that I want to experiment with. So I have been informed that we can use the bull from another breed to breed with our Holsteins. And I think that might be a fun little experiment. So, we're going to get ourselves a Hereford bull. just for fun. Because we are allowed to have fun. It is a video game. 84 grand left. Well, you're very definitely worth buying. Oh, she's pregnant. Oh, we'd like that. I didn't realize that was a thing. Yes, we'll buy you. I guess that's why she costs more. Buy. Yes, please. So that pen. No. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And in that one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. In that one. So baby calves, which don't really interest me. So let's go back into here. Set. 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 10 months. You're pretty good. Buy it. Yeah. We've got 6 in there now. So 4 more. I'm sure this makes riveting content. Cheerful Goldfinger. 11 months. You're pretty good. Yep, let's buy you. Or to go. That. Oh, this hopefully will do it. You're 20 months old? Very expensive. 58 months old. Yeah. 10 months, you're pretty good. Yep. 13 months, but kind of average. Not pregnant, so I'm not going to spend all of that on you. Big price spike for 20 months old. We'll buy you. I'm just going to double check how many we have. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So 2 more ideally. That was save. That was not settings. Ya noob. That. Particularly wow, you're no. No, no, no. Reset. Yes, I'm being kind of cherry picky, and if you don't like it, it's kind of tough, you know? I wonder where the term cherry picking comes from. Eight months, I'm not going to wait that long. Reset. Really not giving us what we want, is it? Reset. 12 months, you're kind of average. But I'm going to take it. There we go. So let's have a quick look through now. So you're pregnant. We're expecting a bunch of calves in August, which is kind of cool. And we've got Buddy there. So I'm going to get these guys fed and bedded down, and I will see you in the morning for hopefully some soybean harvesting. Okay, we have slept. So let's do a little quick field tour. The grass is growing. Yay! We successfully planted grass. Huzzah. Looks like it needs a little bit of fert on it to be perfect, but that's okay. Quick check on the soybeans. Yay, it looks like these are ready to harvest. Excellent. And we're going to get an okay yield off of those. So 90% of the potential yield. So that's not too bad. So we're going to have to sit on that until we can, mind your words, get a good price. That's what I was looking for. And then our oilseed radish cover crop, which seems to have got freaking tram lines in it. Stupid precision farming. Sure, I told it to do that. Anywho, combinage. We shall combine our fields. By that I mean we shall combine harvest our fields, which will allow us to then create our pasture over there. And what I might end up doing is actually opening up an entrance to the field just in front of us in the end, to save us having to drive up to the current entrance, because it's probably a waste of time. Actually, let's also have a look at our cows, shall we? So looks like we have another pregnancy. Another, I think you were already pregnant. Oh, we've got twins. So yep, the bull is doing its job. These are all too young, but yep, Buddy is doing his job. We need to name him. I think that's the thing we can do. I think we can rename them. So, and then in here, yeah, we have more. Oh, triplets. Interesting. Yeah, we have more on the way, which is excellent. Good news. It's good news. Off. Fold that in for now. Oops, I'm just going to stick the header on and hope we can get into the field. I think. Hope we can get to the field even. Should be able to. There's a lot of hope here. There's a lot of hoping. We can then stop leasing the combine, because you will have noticed the money's gone down. I'm not exactly sure by how much, but we had leasing bills, we had loan bills, so yep, we do need to be earning cash to help with the bills. I'm curious. Cool, there are still contracts, which is fairly nice. But let's get ourselves into the field, and we'll make a start. Oh, we've got the nice little bonus surprise. we're getting straw off of the soybeans. I'd forgotten I had that mod installed. Gotta be honest with you there. So that's nice. We might not get that baling done today because I've been rabbiting on for quite a while already so far. But again, I've done a little bit of reading up on soybeans. I don't know if this is interesting to you guys, but essentially having something like this to talk about makes it a little bit easier. Of course, freaking tramlines in this video makes it a little bit easier for me to rabbit away sometimes. And it's also I find it interesting anyway. You might not, but I do. So and they're my videos. So what I find interesting kind of goes here. So you're stuck with it really. And I found this little fact kind of interesting, that the soybean was domesticated in 3,500, I think it was 3,000 or 3,500 to 5,000 BCE. Now I had to look up what BCE meant, which is before current era, and that means it was like about 5,500 years ago. The soybean was domesticated in East Asia somewhere, which is nuts, isn't it? That humans have been growing soybeans domestically for something like 5,500 to 7,000 years. Now that might not be entirely true because I read it on the internet, and don't believe everything you see and read on the internet. Trust the quote from Abraham Lincoln on that one. But I found that kind of nuts, that it's just that much. And again, I don't have my notes up in front of me, but I think in 2020 something like 320 million tons of the stuff were grown in the world. I'm trying to remember that number from yesterday when I was researching this stuff, but yeah, it's insane. Now the number that I do remember, which again I thought was quite interesting, just get around the corner, do our little cut in for the corner and then back out, just to give us room to turn. Now I'm not a heavy vegetarian believer, but I know the old soybean is quite popular with the plantarians. Apologies for any plantarians listening. Don't mean to offend you. Just have a very different belief system on what humans should eat. But interestingly, only 7% of the soybeans that are grown are fed to humans. It's not a very acceptable human food. About 80% of them are used to feed cows and chickens. So it's predominantly grown as animal feed, which I don't know, you kind of think maybe we'd feed chicken or feed cows grass, but I guess it's a good fattening food. So, and I'm kind of guessing on that one, kind of spitballing a little bit. So anyway, yeah, I thought that was quite interesting. I'm guessing the other 13% is used for other food products, maybe, because I think you can get soybean oil, I think. I don't know. But I was quite surprised at how high the percentage was that goes to animal feed. And that was mostly cows and then chickens, and not things like pigs. But I guess I don't know. I always have the image in my head in the UK of cows out in fields of grass, but maybe they're not in the UK anymore. Maybe they are. I don't know. But then you have the dystopian picture of the big mega farms in the US where they are factory fed, essentially, where they probably are living on soybean meal and stuff like that. So I don't know. But yeah, it was an interesting read. It was an interesting read. One of the things that was kind of common in some of the stuff that I was reading was kind of the damaging effect of the monoculture, monocropping of soybeans. And I'm not going to go into the whole eco thing of that, but monocropping is bad, obviously. They are a crop that can have benefits because, and I think they try to imply that with precision farming, where it's a crop that doesn't need nitrogen because it can help with nitrogen fixing. I think I didn't find anything on that in my quick search in researching for this because I didn't go super in depth. Because it's not a tutorial, it's me trying to find something to help me rabbit away while I play a video game and have some fun. So, yeah. I've also started watching Tom Pemberton again. So I've been kind of running out of things that I was struggling to find things to watch on YouTube, which sounds crazy, I know. And a Tom Pemberton video, cropped up. I know I'm good with jokes. And they were doing second cut. Well, they'd done second cut, and they were chopping second cut. It's quite a good video. Quite enjoyed it. Actually, no, they weren't. The first one I saw was they were doing slurry spreading, and then I went back and watched the chopping second cut video. The slurry spreading one was kind of interesting though, because they were looking at he was looking at the difference between dribble bar and splash plate. And in the real world, it seemed like there wasn't a lot of difference in terms of grass growth and that kind of thing. And it was quite. You can see he obviously has a manure separator. We've got straw harvest coming, which I think is the mod that has the manure separator in it. And I've never really got on with it in FS because the separated product never seems to be very worthwhile, and I've never really done very much with straw harvest. It's a cool mod. It's just yeah, the economics are always a bit screwy. And the separated manure just never seems to work very well in the game, for like bedding and stuff. So anywho, the controversial bit in that video, if you've watched it, if you haven't watched it, and there was quite a bit in the comments about it from looking at the comments, he got out of the tractor while it was moving to clear a blocked pipe, or to one of the tubes that drops down on the drill bar was to adjust one of those. A lot in the comments about that. Now, I'm guessing there are a couple of schools of thought on that. I would imagine old school farmers, and I could be completely off base on this. Please, again, I'm just guessing. I would imagine old school farmers would have done this kind of thing all the time. From a health and safety point of view, that is horrendous. Moving vehicle, standing in front of moving machinery. I remember watching the start of Clarkson's Farm, and when they had the rep from the NFU come out, and the way, and I know she was probably following uber strict health and safety process because she was on the TV. I get that. But the way she was like making him get in and out of the tractor to do things and turn things on and off to do things that seemed overly cautious. Now, I'm assuming that's because Amazon were there and they were, 100% by the book and that kind of thing, and being super, super strict on process. But equally, from our stage point of view, that seemed nuts to me. And I expect from a modern farming safety point of view, danger never takes a holiday, Tom. That was pretty crazy. But I imagine your average, old school farmer would have done that all the time. So yeah, there are some farmers watching. I would be curious what you guys think on that one. Oh, we're 87% full. We might make it to the end of this because it's a row with tram lines in. We'll see. Yeah. Other than that, I enjoyed watching the videos. And the second cut video I kind of just had on the background, so that was a bit of a blur. But the slurry one was really interesting, and I did actually pay attention to that because I was planning to talk about it in this video. Yeah. I'm trying to think anything even vaguely similar that I've done. I've never been in a situation where I've been in a vehicle that you can get out of that keeps moving, I think. I don't think so. And I think if I did, I probably shouldn't say, because it would have been at work, because it would have been some kind of off-road vehicle that had a low range that could have kept itself moving. So anyway, moving on. Genuinely, I don't think there is a situation where I've been in anything like that. So, and yeah, we should plan to empty this combine pretty soon. The yield is going quite well, actually. The yield map looks better than I expected it to. It looks like we're going to get a decent amount off of here. I think I'll try and get a headland off, one more headland off the bottom here. And then once we've emptied the combine, we'll do a proper cutting to open the field up. I think that's the way to tackle this. Yeah, with these tram lines, we might actually get all of this done. No, we won't. Okay. I'll shut up. Alright. let's grab the Fendt. It's going to be nice to get a decent sized grass pasture planted that's not temporary, just looking at the one right next to us. So yeah, we'll get the grass planted and then we'll be able to spin through winter fairly quickly. And into the springtime. I'm going to have to chuck these on the floor in the shed for now. Just have, yeah, got time saving stock check, but it's not going to tell me. So into finances, soybeans, yeah, we're looking at July. It'll be a nice payout in July. And then in August, the cows, maybe July, August time, the cows will start producing milk, which will be great. Start making some money off of those. Things will start looking a whole lot different. Right, off we go again. Finish this up. I think we do a cut in then. Awesome sauce. Just the sauce you have on your breakfast. I have no idea where what. Tell you where that came from. It came from the fact that it's very hot today. And I'm in a room without air conditioning and I need a drink. But I want to get this finished first. So, yeah, that's exactly where it came from. I think on that note, I am going to get a bunch of this done. And let's turn GPS on. That's probably a good idea. And I'll be back in a little bit, folks. Welcome back, folks. Not that it's been any time for you at all. So I've got a good chunk of the field harvested. The trailer is sat full now, waiting for me to go empty it. I figured I would run the combine until it was full again before I did that. And then you'd be here as well to enjoy me attempting to reverse it into the shed to tip it somewhere. I know, a Brit whinging about the hot weather. What a shocker. It's actually going to go away in the UK tomorrow because we have a storm warning where I am coming in later today and lasting through a big chunk of tomorrow, which is really annoying because it's going to mess up my running training, which is way more important than it being hot. But anyway, before I got distracted, it's really screwing up my energy levels. I am literally struggling to stay awake and it is like 2 o'clock in the afternoon. Yeah, it sucks big time. I am going to be procuring myself a hit of caffeine very shortly from my favorite energy drink supplier. Link down below. But yeah, we are getting there. As I said, I'm going to do the baling next time because I say this video is plenty long enough already. And I'm kind of out of things to ramble away about. So it does look like mods might have released, because when I was browsing YouTube for something to watch while I was doing things betwixt talking sessions, mod videos were out. Actually, that's yesterday's mod. Ooh, Agritonho truck. If I was in America, that would be a cool truck. Oh, wow, that's an interesting texture. Anyway, it looked like there was an old Swather released, so I'm just browsing through because eventually, see, that's the mod that we might need on here, the Fortschritt E281, which, yep, I know was shared on Discord the other day. That was 60 grand. See, I don't get that. Well, I do, but I don't. I guess it depends. No, I don't really, because like with inflation and stuff, I bet it didn't cost 60 grand to buy one of those when it was new, because you could probably buy a house for 60 grand when one of those was new. And to be fair, you can buy a house probably for what a forage harvester costs new now. Minor point. Anyway, you know, I just don't think they should cost that kind of money. But maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm wrong. But I mean, that might be fun to play with on here. I think I've only ever used that once in the whole time that I've been playing FS. And it really was quite good fun. That Hurleyman looks so nice. Do like that Hurleyman. Yeah, I'm not sure where. Maybe DJ got a preview of that mod or something. I don't know. Well, onwards to finish the combining, and we need to get the trailer emptied. I'm currently, well, not. This is a room that has air conditioning available. I'm not currently running it because it would be really loud and you wouldn't be able to hear me. Well, you might, but you'd also hear the air conditioner running. The spare room upstairs is currently cold soaking with the air conditioner, so that I can go up there and get this video edited and do a few other bits up there in the cool. And so I'm really looking forward to finishing recording this and retreating to the coolness, because it's been running solidly with the door shut for a good 2.5 hours, I think. So that room should be nice and cool, and I'm hoping it doesn't heat up too quickly. Now the problem is, you know, it's like it's a first world. I'd love to get a thermometer on this, and I've spoken about it many times when I talk about how hot things are. The computer that's next to me, next to the armchair that I'm sat in, which is called the Reactor on my network that I have at home. Yes, I'm a geek. I have a home network. Is literally hot to the touch. The components inside, I've got a monitor up next to me of the temperatures. The components are inside are all at safe working temperatures for PC components, which, you know, they're warm, but it's a solid metal case, and I think the metal case is acting as a bit of a heat sink as well, because it's a small form factor computer, and it's basically blowing hot air at me as well. It's like a heater. Great in the winter in the spare room, or any room, because it's a heater. You know, it's like it's not got enough fans in it, but it's essentially acting as a several 100-watt heater on a day when it's like, I think it's due to get to 28-30 degrees outside this afternoon where I am, before plummeting as this storm warning comes in. So I expect that means my head's going to feel like utter pants later as the storm warning comes in, because, you know, that's how it works. She's going to suck again for the fact that tomorrow I'm supposed to be running 27 miles. And yes, although I live in the UK and I do most of my things in metric units, because they're superior, I run in miles. I do everything distance, everything big distance related in miles. Obviously, maybe not obviously. Maybe in America you don't know. So in the UK we drive in miles. So our cars are configured for miles per hour, and we do distance in miles for that. But yeah, I run in miles because I always have. I don't know why. Well, I don't know. Maybe I just maybe it's one of those things I inherited from my dad. Although I don't lift weights in pounds, but that's because all the weights in the gyms are marked in kilos, and the numbers are easier to work with. But yeah, we're full. Sorry, I was too busy reminiscing and musing. Yeah, I've always run in miles. Now, obviously, the distance is the same, but it's the thing. It's the thing. Come on, Fent, pick up. You can do it. Trailer can't be that darn heavy. But yeah, I'm really hoping that my head is not bad tomorrow, because I didn't run at all last week because I hurt my back, as you may remember me talking about. And I just got back to running in the second half of this week, and I really, really need to be doing some running. So it would be really annoying if the weather... It's supposed to be horrendous rain in the morning. Skin is waterproof, so that's not a problem. But if there's storms, I can't leave the dogs on their own, so I'll need to wait for the storms to pass for that. But once they have, yeah, I'm not bothered if it's still raining. But if my head's too bad, that will be a problem. I think we're going to go in there, which means actually we need to pick up the pallet forks. Let's drop that down. This is turning into a very long video. I kind of guessed that harvest wood, I suppose. Suppose we can pick that up there. Later. Come on. Doesn't always like shifting ranges, I've noticed, this tractor. I'll do. Out of there. No, I want to get in the fence. Go around the other side of the bale shredder. Go. Yeah, I'll do. 17,000 litres of soybeans so far, which is a decent amount of cash once we get to a good price for it. Good couple of £1,000 per 1,000 litres, so yeah, be a nice payday come summer next year. And that's a lot of straw, so hopefully it's a lot of straw. Alright, let's go empty the combine. I think then I'm going to have to get this finished up off camera, because I'm running out of stuff to ramble about. I desperately need another. Drank a pint of water, no, 2 pints of water whilst I was away. And it's so dry and hot in here. Well, I feel so dry and hot that yeah, I need more. Ready is kind of crazy. I think I will crack on, and I will see you as we are about done. And yet again, I'm back. I know, what a shock, hey. Slightly more hydrated, still melting stupidly, but we are pretty much done. So I think I've got like probably 3 rows to do, and we'll see how much we get. So I found an interesting video that I started watching but still have quite a lot left to watch. It's a YouTube creator called Weary Wolf. So he does a lot of cooking videos, slightly in the style of Atomic Shrimp, but much smaller creator. His main channel's got 10,000 subscribers, but he's just started a fishing channel as well, so I've just started watching one of those because I thought it'd be interesting. And you know, it's kind of cool to show support for channels that you like, that have got small audiences and stuff. So yeah, I really like his food videos. So he's just done a really cool food challenge, actually, doing a week of eating a World War II UK ration style diet. It's really interesting. So yeah, let me just double check the name just in case you're curious. Yes. Please hold. I'm just scrolling through my massive list of subscribed channels, and yeah, Weary Wolf Adventures. So I enjoy them. So you may or may not, but you know, if you do, cool. If you don't, lovely. But yeah, we're gonna finish this little jobby up. I think I've got something like an hour-long video to then edit up, and that'll be that. It's kind of nice to I'm so annoyed that that field's got freaking tram lines in it, because it's set to not have. So yeah, it's kind of nice to be getting the starter crops out of the way, and getting the farm how we want it. So And the straw was an unexpected bonus. I'd completely forgot that I'd put that mod in. So that's going to be great because it's going to give us a ton of straw for getting through to when we get our straw crop. Yes, that's going to be awesome. So we'll get that baled up next time. We then need to get the field limed and mulched, and probably, I don't know if it needs ploughing. It does not. Awesome. So we'll get it limed, mulched, probably disked, and then seeded with grass, because this is going to be our permanent pasture, ready for the new year. Really pleased with that. I think we've got more than the expected yield that it was saying at the start of the, or before we harvested, which is cool. It'd be nice to get a lump of cash off of here. Then what we'll do is next video we'll focus on the baling. Probably baling it and getting all the bales stacked is going to take us a while. I might open up the new access way for getting that job done. I'm sure I did that last time we were farming here. It makes life so much easier. And then we'll sort out getting the new stuff planted. I'm sure we can. Oh, yeah. And we're literally in the last month that we can plant grass. That's kind of useful. So we'll get that done. Get ourselves set ready for next year. We can get the combine sent back to the dealership and stop paying rent on the darn thing. Which will be good. Right. Let's just let that empty all the straw out. Go. Hopefully tip this in the trailer. I'm hoping it's all going to fit. Actually sure if it's going to now. Probably not actually, because it's over 50% full already. So we've done a trailer load, which is 12,500 litres. I just want to work out how much we've got, and then I think we're going to call it a day. So we got 25,200 plus what's in the combine. Let's call it 27,200-ish. That's pretty nice, actually. Pretty nice. It's way more than I expected. So yeah, thanks for watching, folks. Hope you enjoyed the video. I've rambled on for far too much. If you did enjoy the video, please click the like button. It really, really helps. And I will see you all next time. Bye for now.